Seas are rising, storms are getting fiercer, farmland is getting drier, and it's getting hotter all over the world. Climate change is starting to have a personal impact on billions of people. So we need to cut back on greenhouse gases and adapt to a warmer world. Scientists agree that the global temperature shouldn't rise more than 2 degrees above pre-industrial averages. It doesn't sound like much, but any higher would have a devastating impact on farming and weather. We've already seen temperatures rise about 1 degree, so we're already halfway there. Unless drastic measures to cut greenhouse emissions are followed through, the world will be on course to a catastrophic 4-degree average increase this century. The amount of CO2 in the atmosphere just passed 400 parts per million, a milestone which we've never experienced before. The G7 pledged to have zero fossil fuel emissions by 2100 and want other nations to do the same. So the Paris Climate Change Summit will discuss the path and timing for decarbonising the economy. Developing nations get about $60 billion every year from public and private organisations across the globe to limit emissions and adapt to climate change. But now, those poorer nations want their richer neighbours to increase that to $100 billion a year by 2020. The 2009 Climate Summit in Copenhagen attempted to make emission reduction targets legally binding, but ultimately failed in committing nations to a common goal. Since then, the top polluters have set their own targets and schemes. In Paris, decisions will need to be made about how nations will meet new targets and what sort of commitments they'll make beyond 2020. And while the talks are unlikely to solve all our problems, they'll hopefully bring us closer to avoiding the worst impacts of climate change.